What's going on, guys? My name is Don't Panic 494, and today we're playing a little Blacklight Retribution on Vertigo. This is just some straight TDM action, and I just wanted to make a video kind of touching upon the loadout I use and the philosophy behind it. I got a few people asking me questions about, the way I set up my character and things like that, so figured I would throw it all into this video. In just about 20 seconds, I'm going to cut the video to my loadout screens just so you guys can take, a second to review it, look over the exact items and stuff. I'd encourage you to pause the video if you want to read the actual items I'm using, because I'm not going to go over them one at a time, line by line. I'm just going to talk about the loadout in, general terms and kind of discuss the philosophy that was in my head when I designed it the way I did. So if you guys have any more specific questions, just let me know, and I'll address them as they come in. So in general terms, I wanted to make my guy light and fast, so I designed this SMG to be not necessarily a high DPS weapon, but more of a fast firing, fast reload, low recoil, low bullet deviation. So I'm not doing so much damage per bullet, but I'm able to quickly adapt to scenarios, put bullets on target, and move on quickly. Pistol is a little bit different. This is actually does more damage per bullet than my SMG does. It's very accurate, more accurate. And I have a zoom infrared scope on it, which I'll actually demonstrate in just a second, just so you can see how this handles. Great sidearm to have, especially if you can hit people in the face. My actual armor loadout, again, is light and fast, so I sacrifice health and armor for faster speed, faster HRV recharge, longer HRV duration, more stamina, things like that. And it's working out really well for me. I'm going to cut real quick to a different round where I actually use the pistol a little bit, just so you can see how it handles. So the first thing you're probably going to notice, especially if you haven't played Blacklight before, is this pistol is f***ing massive. It would definitely be more badass if you didn't have to hold it with two hands, and you could be like Dirty Harry times infinity with this thing, and just hold it with one hand and shoot it like a boss, but not the end of the world. As you can kind of tell glancing through the infrared scope, it's really good at acquiring targets, especially at range. So you can use the HRV to kind of get your full situational awareness on where the enemies are, where the friendlies are, but, the HRV is limited, so you really do need to rely on your senses also to acquire targets and, have situational awareness. So, as you can see, when you ADS with this thing, all of the enemies are highlighted in orange, friendlies are highlighted in blue, so it makes it really easy to tell where the enemies are, where the friendlies are, and you can look through obstacles like staircases and stuff like that. It's a fantastic pistol. I absolutely love the setup. Getting back to our original TDM round, we can actually get some footage of the SMG in action. You can see how that handles. As you can see, the recoil, while I am definitely compensating for it, is really not that difficult to manage. Recoil in Blacklight is something that I've never really experienced before. It seems to be very random. It seems to be very difficult to compensate for, which is why this is one of the only games where I would prefer a balance between bullet deviation and recoil, as opposed to going for, like I do in Battlefield, a zero deviation, high recoil loadout if I had to do that. Typically, if you're skilled in a game, you have enough experience, you can compensate for recoil, so as long as the bullets are going where you're aiming, you're going to get them on target. Blacklight, I don't know if it's just me, it's just my lack of experience. I am still kind of a noob to this game, but I can't seem to figure it out well enough to have like a, super low deviation, high recoil rifle and actually get bullets on target. Another feature that I'm sure you guys have noticed, if not, you definitely will, about this SMG is that it has a very short reload time. Again, this is something that I designed on purpose to work in concert with my armor loadout as a whole. So I would use my speed, my stamina, my HRV in conjunction with this weapon, which I can reload super fast, I can fire very accurately, get bullets on target quickly, and again the reload plays a part so that once I empty my mag, all I have to do is duck behind a corner for, a second and a half or so, and I'm right back in the fight, where a lot of the other higher powered rifles have a much longer reload time. So again, it's just my opinion, it's kind of my play style. I would prefer to be able to sprint around really quickly, get quick reloads out when I need to so I can get as many bullets on target as possible, and absolutely dominate the opposing team. Now keep in mind, this loadout is not without its shortcomings. There are definitely situations where you're really at a lose-lose if you're running with this loadout. On very large maps that have more open corridors and more open spaces, this weapon in particular is much more difficult to put, not necessarily put bullets on a targeted range, but put powerful damage on a targeted range. So if you've noticed, some of these guys playing on this map even are running with loadouts that are super high health, high armor. They're slower, granted, and they don't have the same HRV, stamina, speed, things like that. But they have a ton of armor, they have a ton of health, so at long range, almost regardless of whatever weapon they're using, they're going to have the advantage over you. You're going to essentially have to run away in those engagements. On smaller maps like this, you can use your HRV and your agility to your advantage, but there's no advantage you have on these long-range maps. You have to at least change your weapon, probably change your loadout in general. The reason I run with this all the time is that even on the bigger maps, you can avoid those long-range confrontations, but, you know, there aren't that many of them that come up. So, you know, 85% of the time I'm confident running this loadout. The other 15, you do get a little nervous. You have to kind of get a little lucky, I guess. Or you can just play really smart and just stay out of those large portions of the map where you're not going to have an advantage. So, again, for the majority of Blacklight, this loadout is great, and for the times that it's not great, you just have to play smart and you can still use it well. Now, I want to make sure I reiterate that there are going to be a lot of people out there that this loadout just flat out does not work for. This is just my opinion. This is a loadout that fits my playstyle, and it really shouldn't fit anyone else exactly. So there are so many customization options in Blacklight. It's one of the reasons I love this game. You can change everything about everything. So even if you're an aggressive player that likes the idea of playing light, nimble, things like that, if you're new and you don't know everything about the attachments and stuff, this may be a good starting point. Maybe try out something similar to this, but you're going to find that you're going to want to make little tweaks here and there. Maybe you're better at managing recoil than me, so you want to drop the bullet deviation a little bit and up the recoil a little bit. Maybe that'll give you a little bit better performance. Maybe you want to up the damage of the weapon a little bit more and sacrifice somewhere else. There are so many little changes you can make to tweak it to be perfect for you. So I would encourage you to do that. I would encourage you to check out some of the pre-mades too. That's kind of how I arrived at this. They're fantastic. Unfortunately, you can't buy pre-mades for one day anymore with CP, which is kind of lame, but you can find a way to make it work. I want to take this time to just thank you guys very much for watching the video. As always, I really do appreciate you spending a few minutes of your day with me. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know if there's any specific questions you have with Blacklight. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And I will catch you guys next time. Take care, everybody.